Hi guys and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you are all doing amazing and having an amazing week. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button if you enjoy these types of videos. Videos are every single Wednesday and Sunday at 10 AM. So let's jump straight in. Today I'm going to be talking about my piercings and my tattoos. Now I'm a bit of a nosy person and I enjoy watching these videos, but actually I had quite a lot of people like, oh, we want to know what tattoos you've got and what piercings, because I have quite a lot actually. Most of them are quite hidden. I'm super sweaty, I'm hot, super hot today. So I thought let's just sit down, let's just go through everything. So I'm going to show you some clips, I'm going to tell you about a little bit of backstory and we'll just go through it. So we'll go through piercings first, First piercing is my good old tongue piercing. I love my tongue piercing. Okay, so I got this done when I was 15. I was in my last year of school and I remember it because I remember that we weren't allowed to get, we weren't allowed piercings in my school. So what happens is when they pierce your tongue, basically, they put a long bar in because your tongue swells to the size of the bar. For the first week, not only can you not talk properly, you kind of have like a lisp. You also can only eat things like mashed potatoes, soup. You can't really chew hard food, and as soon as you try it, it just pulls the bar and it's like really excruciating. So they basically pierce it with a long bar, and I remember when I was at school, because I didn't want any of the teachers to know, I was literally having to use the roof of my mouth to bend the bar like back a little bit just so that they couldn't see it. And I remember it was so funny, but to be fair, I was only like that for a week, and then after that it healed and I've honestly never had any problems with it. I absolutely love it. I can't really feel it anymore, like it's just kind of one of those things that's there. But the funniest thing is if I take it out, I have a lisp, like I can't talk properly, where I'm so used to it. I mean, I'm now 26, so I've had it for like 11 years, but I absolutely love it. I've just got a little gem in it, and yeah, I love it. So the next piercing is my belly button. Now again, my belly button was probably one of the first piercings I got. I think I was about 13 when I got my belly button pierced. And again, it was just such a big thing at the time. All the girls were getting their belly buttons pierced, so I just went ahead and I did it. Again, it was fairly painful, but not that bad. I can't really remember because it was so long ago. I'll probably say it's like a 4 or a 5 out of 10. Like, it's not bad at all. Again, healing process for me, I was quite lucky. A lot of my friends didn't have the best healing process and they were always catching it. But I never did catch it. But again, I just love having it done, especially when you wear bikinis or something like that. It just looks really pretty, and yeah, it will just always be one of those piercings that I have. Oh, so just quickly going back, sorry, I'm rushing ahead. The tongue piercing in terms of pain honestly was not that bad. I don't know if it's just because it's in your mouth, and obviously like your saliva heals it anyway. It doesn't really hurt. It was probably like, again, same as the belly, like a 4 or 5 out of 10. And then after that, it kind of isn't like a sore pain. It's just like kind of like a throbbing pain, but not really bad. It's not, honestly, like it's not that bad as people think, to be fair. And I didn't get mine numbed either. Like none of my piercings or anything I've ever been numbed. Like I just go for it, you know, just go for it. So the next piercing is my ear piercing. So I'm just gonna, now, the story behind me is, it's quite dramatic. The first piercing that I got was obviously my lower lobes, and then I got my second lobes. Again, lobe piercings are fairly painless. I got them done when I was really little, so I actually can't remember anything about them. Then I basically got this one done probably when I was like 14. And again, that wasn't painful at all. It healed really quickly and it was fine. Then I got to 23 and decided, no, how old was I? 24? Kind of went through like a piercing crisis and was like, I need to get loads of ear piercings because they look so cool. So I went and got loads of piercings done at once. So I basically got this one done and this one, which is the forward helix. I got these two here done at the same time. I got the third lobe piercing. Then I left it a week and I went back and got a second forward helix, which I've took out, this side and this side. And I also had this, no, sorry, this side. I had this bit pierced here as well, like here. So basically, the second forward helix I took out because it caught on everything. I would literally go to the hairdressers and she would catch it with her hands, like not on purpose. When I was washing my hair, it would catch all the time. I went to Alton Towers and like, you know where you've got like the roller coaster and you've got like the bars that go over, literally my head was bashing side to side and I was like, this is too much. I had the smallest piercing in there, but it just kept catching all the time and it just wasn't worth it. It was just so painful. So I took those out, and then the one that I had here actually got infected. I got it pierced and the next day the piercing fell out. and it was actually that night, and I thought, shit, if I don't get this back in, it's going to close up. So I basically tried to put the bar back in and it wouldn't go in. I don't know why. I don't know if it was pierced at a funny angle, or like, I don't really know what had happened. I went back and they put another piercing back in there, but my ear had swollen so much where it had obviously been fiddled about with, and I hadn't realised at the time what was wrong. I remember going to work and my ear was like red and hot, and honestly, the pain, I cannot tell you the pain. It was one of the most excruciating pains I've ever gone through in my life. I had it for about 2 or 3 days in the end. I couldn't sleep. It was so painful. I literally had ice on my ear all of the time. Even when I was at work, I remember getting a drink with ice, emptying the drink and putting the ice on my ear. Like, that's how bad it was. I couldn't sit normally for like an hour without ice. It was so painful, and I tried to hang out because I loved the piercing, and I was like, do you know what, I really don't want to get it took out. And obviously they say like if you take it out it can be even worse, so like leave it alone. So what then basically happened is my ear started going white here, like a pussy kind of colour, and it was just so excruciating. I took it out, and honestly, it was the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life. The hole itself was all yellow. It basically got really badly infected. And I started to feel really unwell. I was really sick, really hot, really dizzy. So I actually ended up going to A&E in the end. It was that bad. And again, this was late at night, so I couldn't go back to the piercing shop. I couldn't do any of that. They then basically, and this is not a joke, had to put me on an antibiotic drip because my ear was so infected. If they'd given me the tablets, they wouldn't have worked in time. So that's the story behind that. So from that moment, I was like, no more piercings. Like, that's me done now. I don't want any more, because it just put me off. And again, it's no one's fault. I think it was just luck. I think that, along with the fact that I'd literally got like 8 piercings in 1 week, it was just too much. So yeah, basically that came out. Now, in terms of like the pain of the others, again, I always find lobes and cartridge or whatever it's called, which is like this bit didn't hurt. Helix at the front hurts. I would say probably a 7 out of 10, really hurts. Probably the most painful ear piercing I've had, but it's not just that, it took me over a year. I think I got them done February last year, and it wasn't until like March this year, when lockdown happened, I started to realise they weren't hurting anymore. It took that long because I just found the healing process ridiculous. Every time you thought they'd healed, you caught them, or, you know, something happened where it just felt like they weren't healing. So it just, yeah, they take ages to heal, so just be prepared to have a lot of patience with them. So that is all of my piercings. I'm trying to think, do I have anything else pierced? But I don't. So I'm going to include a couple of pictures because a lot of my tattoos are actually cover-ups. So the first tattoo I ever got was my wrist one. Now, it's not this one that you see here or that you're going to see in a second. This was the first tattoo that I ever got. I was really young when I got this tattoo. I was under 18. Obviously got it done dodgily, but we're not going to go into that. But I just really liked when people had quotes on their wrists. I thought it was really cute at the time. It was really small, didn't hurt whatsoever. I was literally like a 2 out of 10 pain wise, and I loved it. Then I basically went and got a bow here, again, cover up. So I got this bow here. It was like a leopard print bow. At the time, I absolutely loved it, but it didn't last. Within like 3 years, it was completely faded. It looked smudged. It just didn't look very nice. And from the same person, went and got 4 paw prints up my back, which again, at the time, I was young. I thought it was cool. They were basically 2 were meant to be black, and then 2 were supposed to be zebra print. Like, what the fuck was I thinking? Seriously. And then went and got a back piece, like my back piece, which I still actually have now, so I'll show you that in a second. I don't mind this one as much. It basically started off as the top neck piece, and then I got the bottom piece done, so you can tell because they look different in thickness. So I'll show you now. So this is this one. Now, I don't mind that piece, but I'm not obsessed with it. If I could get it covered without getting it covered massively, I would. But it's just got to a point where it's like, it's not worth it. Like, I've had so many cover-ups and things. Now, when it comes to tattoos, I'm a little bit obsessed. I love a tattoo. I've kind of had to rein it in a little bit because I think if it wasn't for my partner, I'd be covered. I just love them. I just absolutely love them. So those are like my initial tattoos. Then obviously, so I got the bow covered up, which is this one here. So you can actually still see this bit here is where the bow is. So where he's kind of had to do those leaves, that's where the bow is. But we didn't just want to cover that area. I wanted to kind of take it up a little bit onto the shoulder as well. So that's what we did with this piece. So yeah, that is actually a cover-up piece there. And my wrist, I'm going to put a picture of my wrist here because it's like really hard to show you for some reason. Again, just 2 lovely roses, and you can actually see the red. The red is where the hearts were. So again, that is just another cover-up piece. I know a lot of people are going to be like, why have you got flowers? But honestly, I don't really like anything else. I do like flower tattoos, rose tattoos. I just think they're quite sexy, and you know, I just wanted something to cover it up. So I'm pleased with them all, but yeah, they are flower tattoos. And in my back piece, which again, I'm going to put a photo here because it's all down my back. This is what covered the paw prints. We did go quite big with this just because I really wanted to. He designed the tattoo and I thought it was absolutely amazing. This is a really real life looking piece. It's got all the right shading, like it's absolutely stunning. And then the next 2 that I've got are not cover up. So these are ones that I got recently within the last year. So the first one is my leg tattoo. So I'm going to get up and show you this now. Now this is a 5 piece and I'm obsessed with it. I love it so much. It's probably, these last 2s are probably my favourite tattoos. So I'm just trying to cover my butt. This is the first one. So it's a Mandela tattoo. And honestly, I'm absolutely obsessed. I just really wanted a nice leg piece, especially for when like you wear bikinis. Again, I just think they look so sexy and I love it. I'm obsessed with that tattoo. What I've got is on my ankle, which is of my doggy. Now again, a lot of people are probably like, oh my God, why would you get a tattoo of your dog? Honestly, it sounds really morbid, but Dave is like my first dog. And Dave isn't just a dog to me. Like I was really, really going through a lot when I got Dave. I was going through anxiety, depression, and I honestly just feel like he helped me through it. And I feel like it's really hard to understand unless you've got a dog. If you've got a dog, you know exactly what I mean. And for me, I wanted something on my leg or like on my body that I can always remember him by and like will always be a part of me. But I didn't want to do it when he weren't here anymore. I wanted to do it whilst he was here. So I've always got that memory. So I decided just to get a little portrait on my leg. I'm going to put a picture here, but I will also show you as well. Again, the idea was to keep it really feminine, which is why it's got kind of like the Mandela piece and it's actually got like a diamond shape around it. I always laugh because I kind of think it looks like Dave's wearing a party hat. So that always humours me. But honestly, again, I just absolutely love it. And the tattoo artist got it on point. I'm going to put a picture here now of the portrait and the tattoo alongside each other just so you can see how amazing. He really got every detail. And again, I only go to the one guy for my tattoos. I just think he's amazing. He did actually go and get my leg piece somewhere else because the lady, I'd seen the design and I wanted her to design me that one, so I went somewhere else, and again she did a fantastic job. But I kind of feel like with tattoos, when you find someone, you just find someone. Pain wise, let's talk about pain wise. Are cover-ups more painful? Yes. Tattoos are more painful the second time round. The wrist one I actually have done 3 times now because I got it originally with the hearts. Then I had it gone over because it was patchy and I didn't like the way it healed. And that hurt. And then I got obviously the cover up. And I feel like the cover up hurts because you're ultimately going over scar tissue, obviously when like a tattoo heals. So you're going over it again. And so it does hurt a little bit more. But I wouldn't say it's like anything bad. For me, the least painful was my wrist. The most painful was my back because obviously the back is quite spiny and like bony. So that was definitely the most painful, especially like by the back of my neck. But the lower back one was painful as well. Ankle again didn't really hurt at all. That wasn't painful. And the leg one wasn't bad at all until the end. The bigger pieces are fine until you've been sat there for like a couple of hours and then it starts to really niggle on you. So like for example, my actual back piece with the roses, I think that took about 3 to 4 hours or 3.5 hours. And my leg piece was 2.5 hours. So like for the first, I would say hour and a half, you're fine. But then after that, it just gets annoying. Like with my leg piece, when she was near the end, that bit of skin was just so sore. It's kind of like if you've got a cut and someone just keeps scratching it and scratching it, you want to go like that. I just wanted to swat her out the way or just move my leg, but obviously you can't. So you kind of get fidgety. I find after like an hour or so of tattoos, I get fidgety. I want to move, I've had enough. So that's why you see a lot of people will only go in for like a 2-hour session on a big piece and then they'll come back another day. It's to kind of break it up. It's not really the pain, it's just more of that agitation. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you're thinking of getting any piercings, tattoos. Just let me know and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.